Good morning, everyone. How are we all today? I hope you're fine. I'm sorry about the problems we've been having with the sound. David and I have both issues with this new camera with sound. So the way I'm going to resolve it is David yesterday, being a sound engineer, went and researched podcast mics, and so I've got a podcast mic which is arriving today at some point, and hopefully that will sort out the sound issues. Okay, so hopefully, as I say, that'll sort out sound issues. Let's see who's in this morning. George Ewan, Robert Wilson, Melanie, Desiree, Rosalind Carrigan, Paul Rankin, Tina Chalmers, Rosie, Gillian Albiston's in. Hi, Gillian. That wee thing behind me with a candle on it, that was Gillian that made that. Reg Fairbairn, Mark Telfer, Graham Easton, Kirsty Falls, Linda D, Aki's, Regan Owie. If you've got a show right after mine this morning, drop the information into the comments, please. Kirsty Fold, Tina Chalmers, Aki's, Warner Shields, Indy Maggs, Anna Chisholm, sorry. Mary McDonald's in this morning. John O'Rourke's in. Kirsty Fold's in. That seems to be if I've missed you folks, I'm sorry. Not like it as I can't get through them all, but we're up over the 100 mark, so let's get this one underway, shall we? Indy Truck Dairy, put the trucking up home. Right, folks, Regan O'Wheat's right after me, Regan O'Wheat's channel. Okay, Alistair, could you drop a link into the comments, please? Thank you. Okay, Indy Truck Dairy, trucking up home in his office in Southern North Lanarkshire, but it's no bad morning. Sunshine and rain in the forecast. It's 5 degrees at the moment. Today's high will be 7. Humidity is at 87%. Wind speed is between 7 and 14 miles an hour, and the pollen count doesn't count. Right, folks. I see the other David put out a wee short last night to let you all know that he's all right. Well, you see the short, you'll see yourself. He's not quite all right. But he's wanting to reassure you all that he's all right. But when I watched the shot last night, I thought he's looking a bit run down and a bit dishevelled there. But he sounded a bit down as well, which is no great. Right. So hopefully sound issues will be sorted out this afternoon. Okay. Right, let's get this underway, shall we? First up this morning, we have the Express, and it starts today's newspaper review off with a lie. Quite a blatant one at that as well. Now, what does it say? Well, it tells us that the SNP have been shamed into action on grooming gangs. And it says this, and it's basically telling us that there's going to be a review of grooming gang cases. But folks, we already knew that, because on the 11th of the 11th, 2025, the Thursday's show, David and I were talking about First Ministers, and Russell Finlay was demanding a grooming gang inquiry. And John Swinney told them then that they were reviewing past and present cases and would make a decision on an inquiry once the review was complete. So this is a nonsense headline, because John announced that the review was going on the 11th of November 2025. But apparently the SNP have caved. It's not going to be an inquiry, it's going to be a review, but we already knew that, folks. All right, so that's just a lot of nonsense. But that's what we've come to expect from the knuckle dragger's rag. So it is. Next up, we get the Times, and it's on the same story. SNP bows to demand for grooming gang review. So, as I say, grooming gang review, we already know about this. This is not news. This is made up nonsense. As I say, on the 11th of the 11th, 2025, you can go back and look at the programme. David Milligan and I were talking about this, where Swinney told Finlay they were reviewing past and present cases, and at the end of that review, they would make a decision on inquiries. So, I say just another SNP bad story. In this case, it's no about SNP bad story. Apparently, it's an SNP cave to pressure story, which isn't fucking true. None of it. But what do we expect when the YouGov poll was out the day before, and the SNP are flying here in Scotland? Flying, they were on 39% of the vote share, according to YouGov. They must be bricking it down that road. Expect war level propaganda. We were already on war level. Let's escalate it from war level to destruction level propaganda. Fuck's sake. Really? They weren't on that rant. They must think we're all stupid. I'll tell you what they play on. They play on the fact that a lot of people don't watch First Ministers. And a lot of people won't be aware that this was announced on the 11th of the 11th, 2025. Right, next up we've got the Scotsman. What nonsense did it go for us this morning? Wow, this is the annual Audit Scotland report telling us annually, and they have been for the last 25 years, that we can't afford the NHS. Report warns Scottish NHS financially unsustainable. Stephen Boyle of Audit Scotland should get his arse kicked to the curb. Audit Scotland's been telling us we can't afford education, we can't afford policing, we can't afford ambulance, we can't afford the NHS, we can't according to Audit Scotland every year, we can't afford fuck all. And yet every year, the services go on, they're always financed, there's never a problem, and if it looks like there's going to be a shortfall, the Scottish Government will come and ask us for more taxation. Fucking nonsense. Stephen Boyle of Audit Scotland needs slapped. 9 years in a row now, folks, those who've been watching me that long, will know that round about this time of year, for the last 9 years, I've been reading out that same fucking headline. Same headline. Never come true. Fucking nuts. So folks, Stephen Boyle, head of Audit Scotland, gets it fucking rang again. Those of you who are regular viewers will have heard me read this fucking headline last year. And the year before. And the year before. You know, scrap Audit Scotland. Stephen Boyle said, fuck alright. In all the years. In fact, Audit Scotland is fuck alright in all the years it's been around. Wow. I'm surprised the papers have the audacity to put this same shite out every year. A brass neck for the papers when each year it doesn't come through. Oh. Next up, we'll get Herald. What's it go for us this morning? Audit Scotland. What a fucking joke. Couldn't the audit amount of matches in the box, for fuck's sake. Offer cash incentives call and bid to battle the rural crisis. You know, you want to battle rural crisis, then some of the glens and valleys up there are suitable for towns. Start fucking building, people will move there. Because once the town's up, you need infrastructure, and then of course people need services, so that leads to employment. Wow. But cash incentives to move people into rural areas where there is nothing for them, it's not going to work. But we're well underpopulated, and once we get a grip of once we get our independence, get a grip of immigration, we're going to have to build towns in those valleys and glens and start importing people. And as we import people, infrastructure will improve. We'll be able to build new towns, and employment will shoot up in those towns. But giving them money to move to places where there's nothing for them, doesn't make any sense. Right, done with the Herald. Next up, we'll get a Tory graph. No, actually, next up, we'll get the Rancid. What's the Rancid got for us this morning? The witch should have died in jail. And this is a Patricia Robertson, ex-teacher, 77, abused kids at Fernethy House boarding school, private school, between 1969 and 1984. And she walks free from court. Robertson was given a 3-year suspended sentence, or 3-year supervision order, and was ordered to pay each of the 18 complainants £1,000 each in compensation. What was that one, Jeanette? Did anyone see the report about NHS England last night? Really bad way, folks getting treatment in the corridors. Showed up all on film. Well, truth to be told, and to be fair, there's a lot of pressure on all our NHSs at the moment. Flu is running rife right through the UK. Here in Scotland, they went up by 45%. The number of cases went up by 45% in 1 week. Down that road, I'm afraid they've got it a wee bit worse. A wee bit worse. I think their cases were at 50% or so. Wales is suffering too. And to make matters worse, folks, these vaccines that everybody's been told to get, unfortunately, the major strain this year wasn't included in the vaccine makeup. So I'm afraid that the protection that should be offered by the vaccine isn't as strong as what it would be if this particular strain was in the mix this year. But it's no, so it's running a savvy. And it looks like all the NHSs across these islands, and probably the healthcare service in Ireland as well, is going to suffer like hell this winter. Because the flu vaccine put out by the World Health Organization this time round hasn't included this particular strain and its makeup. All right. Next up, we've got the Sun. The Sun tells us Tartan Army to watch late World Cup games on dance floor. We'll be clubbing down the road. Nightclubs to screen games. There you go. Nightclubs will be putting on the fitty. Okay, next up we've got Tory graph. Let's get it up. And what's it got for us today? Police plan for Face ID in every town. This is the news that police in England, I'm assuming, because we already have facial recognition technology in most of our towns and cities here. But it was apparent that in England they're going to be putting facial recognition technology into all the towns. Okay. I say they're a bit late to the party. Police Scotland's well in front of them when it comes to that one. Big Brother has been spying on the Scots for a while now. Okay, next up after the Tory graph, the National. What's the National vote for us today? That's what it'd be interesting. He says not. Now, folks, I'm going to be talking about this afternoon. I was talking about it yesterday. I need to look at the video because I can't just lift it off a Discord where Sir Larry sent it to me, but I know where to find it. Fries attacks Glasgow pupils for being bilingual. But it's fine. But it's fine with his own children all speaking perfect German. Farage, er ist verrückt. Ja, was ist los mit Kindern? Sprachen mehr than eine Weltsprache. Farage, we're all fucking bilingual in Scotland, and none of you speak English, you fucking idiot! Wow. I don't know anybody that doesn't speak two languages, even if it is just Scots and English. Myself, I can get by in maybe 3 or 4. And if you just heard, I'm fluent in fucking German, just like his children. Fuck's sake. Farage attacks Glasgow pupils for being bilingual. Guess what, Farage? Go to any city in the world, pick one, and between 20 and 30% of the children in their schools will be bilingual. Metropolises, pull in people from all over the world, you fucking racist little twat. Wow. Verdammt Arschloch. There you go, folks. Don't know if you knew I speak German. Aye. But children speaking more than one language, or as they call it in Germany, Weltsprache. What's wrong with that? It's actually a good sign. Children pick up language really early too. I bet he speaks French and German too early. There's nothing wrong with the children being bilingual. He's just a racist fuck. They say an LBC tried to play his game yesterday and get that, or a couple of days ago, and get their arse scalped. A wee woman from Glasgow, as I say, I'll find it and play a bit of it this afternoon. But so 26% of the children in Glasgow are bilingual, or don't have English as their first language. Guess what? 100% of the children in Glasgow don't have English as a first language. In Glasgow, we speak Scots. We are very distinct. Very distinct dialect, but it's Scots. It's no English. It's never been fucking English. Never will be English. It's Scots. Wow. You see, Arschloch. That's what that is. A racist Arschloch. Take that, didn't? Farage complaining about your children being bilingual. But I'm chuffed to fuck. But we have so many different cultures and so many bilingual people in our society. So I am. Something for the food banks and baby banks. I heard that Leaving Seat recycling plant is closing in Falkirk area in January next year. That's all Falkirk and Grangemouth needs another plant shutting down. Oh dear. Right, next up, what we go here to the National? Get the eye. What's the eye go for us this morning? Let's get something stupid as well. Russian spies secretly entered UK on cargo ships. No shit, Sherlock. It's much easier to come in that way. Much easier to come in through the ports than what it is through the airports. But there you go. Apparently, they're also going out and visiting military installations while they're here. Why? Fucking Google Earth. I'll do it. Why would you bother sending sailors all the way out here to go and look at something you can see for a fucking satellite picture? Lovely stuff. Right, after that, rag. We've got the fail. What's the fail got for us today? It's on another royal story because it's trying to keep its heat down. So it is. Right, here we go, the fail. And it's got world exclusive Meghan's father fight for life. Thomas Merkel, 81, in intensive care in Philippines hospital. Son tells Daily Mail. Well, as far as I know, Meghan and her father don't go on well, so I don't know how the news will be doing well with her. But really, let's say the fail's keeping its head down. Next up, we'll get the Guardian. What's the Guardian got for us today? Bullying culture harmed patient safety at scandal hit NHS hospital. That's in England stories, folks. We've had our bullying scandals in Highlands and Islands NHS. Now apparently Victoria Hospital in Blackpool, they have got a culture of bullying and it's endangering patients. Well, the NHS is in the worst state than ours, to be fair. Right. Next up, the Metro. This one's a cracker. I didn't quite get it. No. The Metro tells us that PM announces a Metro milk campaign victory. I'm saying to myself, it's a Formula One, it's a baby formula story. Now, what did Starmer announce? He announced that supermarket vouchers and supermarket gift cards could now be used to buy baby formula. Hey, so if you get a supermarket voucher, they're going to be able to use it as a discount on baby formula. And if grandma's gives you a supermarket gift card at Christmas, you'll be able to spend that on baby formula. The other thing they're going to do, folks, is they run a campaign to inform parents that the more expensive brands are no the best brands because they're all the bloody same in tin. Because they've all got to meet the same standards to be able to be sold here in the UK. So you can buy the cheapest tin and the dearest tin, and it's the same standard of baby milk formula. So there's going to be an education campaign to go along with this. Get your supermarket points in, get your supermarket voucher, and get your discount on your baby foods. I imagine that applies already. Although they're claiming that this will save families up to 500 quid a year. Grandma must be awfully generous with her gift cards, Jesus. But you know, folks, a Metro campaign, I must have missed it because I've been reading the headline out of this fucking rag for the last 15 years. Right, get the Metro done. And these are the papers that are actually setting the agenda here. Honest to goodness. One of the population has been dumbed down, especially in England, as most of these rags are targeted at an English audience. But that's what's setting the agenda, Jesus. It would appear the quality newspaper editor has dragged its arse through the flare and all. The standard of news we're getting. SNP bent to pressure when they're already announced that they were reviewing this stuff in the middle of November. Oh, nonsense. NHS Scotland unsustainable financially, says Stephen Boyle at Audit Scotland, for the umpteenth fucking year in a row, being rang every time on every single audit. Spanner. And the Metro, of course, with its baby formula campaign that they knew it had. Well, a Daily Star, claims victory and fucking almost everything as well. Even though it doesn't seem to have a campaign for anything, you know. Right, talking about the Star, let's get it up. And what does it tell us this morning? Well, this tells us about the plans of Kelly Brooks for her nuptials. Jungle Star loved up. Kelly, I hope the walls aren't thin. As I say, she's just been booted out to the jungle apparently. And when she met her husband, she says, I hope the hotel room you booked get thick was. So I guess he's getting bounced around the hotel room. Well, so there you go, folks. If you're interested in Kelly Brooks' love life, apparently she's going to be busy assaulting her husband over the next couple of days. Yeah. All good. Mental. Right, folks. The back of Sefton London. I'm going to go dig into this LBC video of the idiot in LBC trying to pull the Farage stunt on the amount of kids that are bilingual in Scotland. She didn't have Tana's arse. To say, I'm going to go and dig it out. Okay. The Doric accent's quite strong. Desiree, I tend to disagree with the idea that it's an accent or a dialect. I think the Doric's a language on its own right. To be fair. When we talk about the languages that are spoken here in Scotland, I'd say Gaelic, Doric and Lowland Scots. But you know, and of course they're bemoaning the fact that English isn't our first language. It's never been my first fucking language. None of have ever spoken. We all speak either Gaelic, Doric, or Lowland Scots. Fuck. Mental. And there's not a single kid in Glasgow who's got English as its first language, as their first language. There's not a single person in Scotland who's got English as their first language. We speak Lowland Scots. Fuck, no matter even they tried hard they tried real hard in the 70s to get rid of it right enough. Used to belt us back then if we didn't speak the Queen's English. Hey, I must have done a right few fucking whacks myself. Bang! Horns out. So they did try to wipe out Scots. And the Doric is quite musical to listen to be fair. Alright. So see you this afternoon, folks. 4 o'clock. Don't be late. You'll be on the naughty step. And remember, right after me, Young Reagan and Week comes up next. I'll be listening in because I've got things to do. In fact, I'm writing this afternoon show. So I'll catch you later, guys. Oh, and when it comes to political philosophies, this afternoon we'll be covering liberalism, which is basically the direct opposite of what we covered last week, and that's socialism. And we'll do that till we cover everything except for communism. We don't need to cover communism. The closest we ever came to communism here was when we were a socialist state between 1947 and 1997. Sorry, 1979. So from 47 to 79, the UK was a socialist state. I've stated that before. Now we get to look at what came after. Okay. See you this afternoon. Bye for now.